JSM. I'm gonna be pronouncing you JSM maybe because the remaining part is probably kind of a hard to pronounce DLLY. All right, so that's good to hear. So maybe I'll just postpone the sex for later. Yeah, definitely. Maybe just focus on getting the most useful, the most according to the Pareto principle. Just focus on the mostly used features such as upload, download, list files, execute assembly, execute shellcode, execute both. And then as soon as you have the basic set of features working like a breeze, then you can go doing some auxiliary features such as tokens, juggling, stealing tokens, impersonating processes, and then also stuff related to SOX probably. At least there will be a way I would go, writing my own C2, at least that fully fledged one. However, I really like the idea that you started off with Mythic instead of reinventing the entire wheel of UI development yourself and then writing yourself your own website and so on. I think that it is just too much time consuming to reinvent the wheel all from the scratch. And if I was doing the malware development myself, I mean C2 development myself from the scratch, I would definitely go with the Mythic, because I wouldn't be wanting to spend time working on UI, JavaScript, HTML, and stuff like that. That would be just so much boring, at least to me. Sarpeton, Red Teamer, interested in staying current on initial access techniques, not written any real malware, mostly customizations of open source exploits, loaders, and implants. Used what works, lot of Bash, Python, C, C++, and WinAPI gotten into Go. My code's ugly, but it gets the job done. And this is the most important aspect, right? We are not software engineers ourselves. We don't really care about code anti-patterns, about singletons, and all these project and all these kind of a clean code principles to follow along. We just need to write a quick prototype, quick POC that we are going to throw against the target environment, and it just needs to work, right? So you are in a perfect sweet spot for yourself. You don't need to really care too much about nice indentations, comments, and having full code full of factories and dependency injection, stuff like that. That's just not very much point for us. That's really cool that you getting your hands dirty with a few technologies, because clearly I think that red teamers especially need to be very adept, very flexible at rapidly jumping into new technologies, whether this is AD, Azure, malware development, Linux. We need to be able to quickly adapt, quickly learn. This is the most core and crucial skill that is required from us to be able to get ourselves quickly familiarized with something previously unknown to us. So really cool that you can actually code with a bunch of different technologies. Then we got JackX with us. I have been red since 2030 or so. Wow, that's like 10 years. Very cool. Network pen testing, AppSec nowadays mostly focused on purple teaming, internal team infrastructure support, tooling development, and AV/EDR evasion. Most interested in payload-based, less common initial access methods. Very excited for the training. I'm too very much excited that you, Jack, joined us. I hope that you won't get bored, because you probably have so much of an experience yourself under your belt. So I hope that you will find something interesting for yourself in these 3 days. And then you will be able to also maybe enhance and embellish your access when it comes to initial access. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed for that. And thank you very much for joining us here. X00, hail, CJ here, working on consulting RTPT, mainly focused on initial access and C2 exfil, been focusing on research, learning the ways of malware, and I'm mainly excited to get some insights from MGK here. Happy pruning all. Thank you very much for your kind words, and I'm also very much excited that you joined us. And yeah, and I hope that you too will find yourself some interesting juices and candies in these slides and these sample snippets that we are going to tackle. So thank you for joining us. Nomad Tuomas. Now we've got Tuomas with us. Hello, Tuomas. Fellow red and purple teamer joining from Finland. Hello. Currently work in the current role for about 8 months now in a well-known, I hope, global cybersecurity company from Finland. I think that we might have some idea for what that can be. Have worked as a pen tester focusing mainly on web apps. Also have worked as a SOC analyst regarding Maldev. I have taken several Sector 7 courses, Maldev Essentials, and found them really useful. I'm not a Maldev by any means, but I can modify existing code. And I think this is the most important and crucial skill to have, to be able to adapt existing technology and then maybe reinforce it, maybe enhance it, and then customize it a little so that it just works for our requirements. So I think that will be I would say that that if somebody is like doesn't have time to learn to code from the scratch, from zero to hero, then just being able to quickly adapt existing technology, existing source code would be actually a nice substitution to be able to actually develop. So just grab yourself a Havoc C2 or Sliver, find its hard-coded strings or features, and then rework them a little so that the entire program, entire code that you'll be using is going to be lesser detectable, lesser known, and is going to be flying past through some of these static dump signatures. This is one of the most crucial skills, I would say, for an aspiring red teamer. So so excited that you can do that. That probably tells you already, apart from some of the aspiring guys that are still thereabout to learn and to learn to program and to learn to work with the code. I actually did read the course materials of the current Modern Shell Access training, and let me tell anyone who does not know, they're awesome. Really glad to be here. Okay, so you already seen the materials yourself, Tuomas, and you still decided to join us. This is so flattering feedback I can have here. I'm super grateful and thank you for that. So hopefully you will also find yourself interested and involved as we'll be progressing through them. I have been updating them slightly, so probably you'll see that some of these slides will be hidden from my presentation, and you'll be having them as well for yourself. You'll see sometimes this red title saying patched, and the patched slide will indicate that I was talking about it in the past, but right now, since this is not too much relevant to the latest technologies, latest patches, I just decided to kind of hide the slide. So I'm leaving it for you to play with, to sparkle your imagination and give you some nice maybe insights. However, since this is not so much relevant, I have updated the slides, and I decided to just expand on some sections and then trim a little the other ones. So thank you very much, Thomas, for joining us. This is so great feedback to be having, that you decided to join regardless of the fact that you already have the materials. Ed Bash asks, hi guys, I'm working as a web pen tester since 2006 and 2007. Oh my, that's so much of an experience as a pen tester. Very much glad that you join us. And then I expand my experience to cover computers pen testing. I used to work Secunia for that. Unfortunately, I changed my careers after marriage. Okay, I know basics of shellcodes. I can write with good knowledge of SYS and sysadmin, but now with ChatGPT, I can do my own codes very easy, very helpful. Yeah, ChatGPT is kind of a game changer here on many different areas and domains. Now I'm working as a IT consulting and looking forward to learn more ways of malware, especially. Jackie, very glad joining your training. Yes, Eddie, I'm also very much excited that you join us and that you are here with us today. Hopefully, I'll be able to intensify your brain, and then just invite it into working with us in the highly paced tempo through these 3 days. There's going to be a lot of concepts, a lot of slides, a lot of snippets and examples we'll be tackling. So hopefully you'll be able to quickly jump on this rapidly pacing train full of TTPs, constantly changing, constantly pacing, rushing forward. Time, link to HTV, perfect. So Time has shared his research with us, the kernel driver development slides. I'm super excited to review them. However, I just need to wrap up the first day, and then I'll jump right into them. Thank you very much, Time, for sharing. I'll be pretty much interested, because sometimes we are finding ourselves compromising, for instance, Citrix servers having a local administrative permissions, and then we all know that the clearly next movement after having local admin will be to attempt to drop and dump, extract some credentials. Then how to go about doing that without maybe touching LSAS, if that's possible. Sometimes LSAS might be actually protected, and then in order to unprotect it, to just strip it off the Lightweight process flag, then we're gonna need to resort to drivers, right? So we could be using the already signed vulnerable drivers to go about doing that, use some kind of a already existing tooling. But other times we might be wanting to actually maybe install our own driver in order to persist in the system in kind of a more obscure ways. There will be also very interesting aspect for reusing kernel drivers in the post-exploitation exploitation area. All right. We'll also say was Sarpton can also say was a liberal arts major at UNIV, so at least my reports are pretty low. Oh my! I would be very eager to see some of your reports, but clearly that's a confidential, so we can really do so. This looks awesome. All right, Eddie, would we use Windows tokens to elevate our user permissions? Yeah, well, since this training is not pretty much about privilege escalation, I would rather want for us to kind of maneuver discussions more to be more relevant, more related to the training material. So clearly, I could delve much more into what are my experiences with tokens, but we are not here to be discussing Windows tokens and privilege escalations. So if you can, maybe I can just answer you this question during the break, or maybe after this day commences. Then I could be able to get back to you and then address your question. Just hit me a private message. I'll get back to you as soon as we wrap up this day. And then I'll be able to maybe discuss with you a little this concept related to tokens. Okay. Right now, I would rather want to have the questions and discussions sticking mostly with the things we are discussing throughout these days with these materials. Okay, guys, there was a lot of background, a lot of insights